Hey guys, this is Evan. I'm here with Corey.
Hey.
Hey Corey. So H1Z1, that's a zombie survival game in development right now that we've both had a chance to see, but you've seen it more recently. You went to SOE Live in Vegas last week.
Yeah.
I had seen it a few months ago. It was in very, very early stage. Looking pretty bare bones at that point, but it's coming along a little bit more.
It's still very bare bones, but it is farther along than when you saw it. There are more things in the world. You start off in a very Daisy-like area. You're out in the forest. You have to run around and collect things. One thing that really stuck out to me was that the buildings in H1Z1 so far feel like they're more manicured. They're more unique. It's not always the same just kind of shanty house that you find in Daisy. And there were definitely more things running around. It didn't feel like I was just out in a big open area and there was nothing threatening. Multiple times I'd run into not only wildlife, deer running by that I could kill, bears, which are pretty much unstoppable at this point. I watched a bear take out like a horde of zombies, and then
Nice.
Of course, it killed me too. And then lots of zombies who would often be like either on their own or kind of in groups of like 3 or 4. So definitely more real dangers than it sounds like there were when you played it. Also, crafting is a really, really big thing in this game. In a way that feels much more like Don't Starve. So from the very beginning, you have a couple of tools at your disposal. You have an axe. You have some, the stuff that you're wearing. And you can start crafting almost immediately. I went and cut down a tree, took the logs from that, turned them into sticks, and then shred the shirt that I was wearing and turned that into a bow, and could then make arrows with apparently just wood. I didn't have to collect any rocks or anything. But the crafting system handles a lot of that for you. It almost felt too easy. Like it would skip some stages for me if I needed to. If I wanted to get straight to sticks, it would take the logs and refine them to planks and then sticks and all that.
Okay.
But I didn't feel as defenseless as in Daisy, which is fine because there's a lot more things to be threatened by. But it definitely felt like I had much more progression than just going and scavenging things.
The thing that stuck out to me when I played it was just the engine technology. I mean, I think that's definitely an area where, at least at the outset here, they have a leg up on Daisy. They have the Forge Light engine, which is used for PlanetSide 2, used for EverQuest Next. And just seeing the way, like, buildings are constructed.
Right.
The way you can basically just drop something in the environment and paste it in, rotate it, benefiting a lot from the work they've done in EverQuest. And I imagine that's going to extend to vehicle dynamics, too. I hope, I know in PlanetSide they have, torques model, acceleration, and, like, engine sizes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Horsepower, so
I think there will be some of that. I didn't encounter any vehicles that I could drive, but the developers that I was speaking to definitely mentioned them and said that they'd often require like a part that you might have to craft for or gas you'd have to fill up. But they're rare. Once you have those, they're pretty tough machines. But there should be a lot of variety in those types of vehicles as well, and you'd expect that from the same engine that powers PlanetSide 2. Did
you get to do any shooting at all? I mean, any weapons?
I didn't. I never once got... well, that's not true. I ended up using a bow and took out a lot of zombies with that. The mechanics for it felt kind of weird. You'd hold the right mouse button to pull back and draw the bow, and then you click the left button to just fire the arrows. And it felt a little too easy. That said, I mean, how many times did I miss a zombie's head and it flew right past them? But it didn't feel like a traditional bow in a first-person shooter. It still felt pretty powerful, though, and it was nice to be able to sometimes reclaim those arrows when the interface was working.
Gotcha. Yeah, so that is a big question for me as an FPS player. Like, what level of fidelity can I expect with weapon dynamics? I mean, with the scale of the game, right? Are they going to have, like, individual pellets in the shotguns being modeled and stuff like that? Is every weapon going to be a hit-scan weapon, or is it going to be bullet drop over range? Like, they have some good stuff and good solutions there for the skill in PlanetSide 2, and hopefully they'll kind of take those lessons and apply them here.
Sure. It feels more like they are focusing at this point on the crafting and actual survival game aspects instead of the more simulation things. And of course they want to really manicure the world and make it feel like it's a living, breathing place, and then eventually expand it out. Right now, the world that they're playing around in is about 64 square kilometers, but they have plans to build that out as the server scale once the game is in early access.
All right. Well, thanks for talking me through it, Corey.
Yeah, no problem.